My name is Jermaine Shilikindo, and I am a 17-year-old African-American male who was born in the United States of America. However, I am of Tanzanian heritage. Tanzania is the biggest country in East Africa, and how I know this and how it's related to me is a long story. When my mom was in university, she came here to further her education, and then one day, I was born, obviously, and later on, so was my brother, 2 years later on to be exact. My father didn't live with us for the first 8 years of my life because he was still finishing his studies in the UK. However, he did, come visit me and my brother from time to time whenever he was able to, and it was always a great time to see him. But I did live with my mom, brother, and my aunt, not my aunt, my mother's aunt, grandmother for the first 8 years of my life. However, when I did turn 8, I ended up moving to Tanzania to then go live with my dad, while my aunt decided to stay in the States. My grandmother decided to stay in the States because she had become so accustomed to the life over here. While I was in Tanzania, I grew a lot of relationships over there. I had a blast, met all my cousins for the first time, and I also gained a good relationship with my father for the first time, as now I was with him. But one day when I was in the 6th grade, my parents told me that I had to move back to the States to further my education. And I ended up living with their good friends, my Auntie Mimi, Cordell, and their son Brandon. Their son Brandon, funnily enough, is the same age as my younger brother. And when I was living in the States with him, they were best friends. So it's like I have another brother. While I'm here in the States, I have lived with my Auntie Mimi Cordell for about 6 years, and it's been a blast. I have a whole another set of family to love right now. And although I do live with them, I still have my biological family who I visit every single summer. And I always miss them dearly. Now, more personally to myself, I think I'm a very talkative, caring, bubbly person who's always a positive thinker all the time. And I think I have a lot of hobbies. I love football. When I was in Tanzania, my dad used to make me watch football games all the time, and I used to hate it, but over years I grew to love it, and I breathe football. My favorite team is Manchester United, and my favorite player, who I believe is the greatest player of all time, is Cristiano Ronaldo. I love video games. I play all sorts of video games. I've been playing video games for 10 years. My favorite superhero is Spider-Man, although I do like DC superheroes. My favorite superhero there is The Flash. I love comedy, black comedy as well, since it relates to me as me being a black man. My favorite artist is Chris Brown, although I do love Drake, and I think R&B and rap are my two favorite genres, especially R&B. Now, to conclude, I'm happy with my life and the direction it's gone over the last few years, and I can't wait for what's in store for me. I also would like to mention, though, this in this world that we're in right now, especially during this current pandemic, I always see these protests and everything, and I always ask myself, why do people hate each other so much? Why? Why can't we all just learn to love? If we learn to love, then that solves a lot of problems in this world. Without love, then we would just be filled with the world of hate. So I think it's best described in a Bible verse, which is Romans chapter 12, verse 9 to 10, which I forgot to mention that I am a Christian. And in this Bible verse, I believe that it expresses why we should love each other. Because as I end the speech, I will also say this: I believe with love we create a better world. And I ask this question: why hate when you can love?